What's going on, everyone? Once again, we're going to do another comparison between the Google Pixel 3a and the iPhone 7 Plus. So this is another one of those comparisons that's like, why are you even doing it? But in the marketplace right now, the iPhone 7 Plus is one of the cheapest iPhones you can get in the Apple Store. So if you're looking at both of these things brand new, the iPhone 7 Plus could potentially be one of your devices that you're looking at, especially if you're looking at brand new devices. Even in the used marketplace, the iPhone 7 Pluses are going for actually less than what the Google Pixel 3a is right now brand new. So this might be one of those comparisons you might think is kind of out of the blue. I know I've done a lot of those, but they all kind of mean something. And so in reality, I just love comparing phones. So even if it's random, I'm still going to do it. So the iPhone 7 Plus came out in 2016 towards the end of the year. So this year it'll actually turn 3 years old, which is pretty surprising because it wasn't even until 2017 that we started seeing a shift for Apple of making bezel-less phones. And that was only like a year and a half ago. So with the Google Pixel 3a, as you guys know, this thing was just released like 3 days ago. And in this video, I talk about a lot of different things. I'm kind of all over the place. And in this video, I'm going to talk about a lot of different things, key specific points for each of these phones. And to kind of start off this whole entire thing, I kind of want to just talk about the bodies and the way they're shaped and all those things. I mean, they're shaped pretty much exactly the same. But the interesting thing about these phones is that technically speaking, the Google Pixel 3a does have the glass on the back, a little bit like the top portion, whereas the iPhone 7 Plus, that is not necessarily the case. But depending on which variant of the iPhone 7 Plus you get, actually one variant feels way more premium than the others, and that is actually the jet black version. I specifically do not have it right now, the one you're seeing on screen, but I did have it at one point. It was my main device, and that device feels way more premium than the Google Pixel 3a. However, the current one I have, which is the matte black version, it doesn't feel nearly as premium as something that has a glass back, but the iPhone 7 Plus still feels, either variant you get, way more premium than the Google Pixel 3a. It's not like worlds better, it's not like 30 times or anything like that, but it's noticeably, even though they're built almost out of the same thing, the Google Pixel 3a just feels like a cheap phone, whereas the 7 Plus actually still feels like a very premium device, which is surprising. Google Pixel 3a was just released, but the 7 Plus has been out for years now, so that's a pretty crazy thing in my opinion. Now the 7 Plus is lacking one thing that the 3a does have, which is the headphone jack. The Google Pixel 3a has that. Google took it out, but then they added it back in, so it's kind of a weird thing. I don't know why they did that. But I'd rather have a headphone jack than not have it at all. Now with the iPhone 7 Plus, it has something that the Google Pixel 3a also doesn't have, and it's kind of a feature that I'm like, why don't they add it? It is so obnoxious that phone manufacturers, we're in a day and age now where they should have some type of water resistance or dust resistance, whatever you want to call it. They should have some IP certification for a phone. The 7 Plus has the IP67 dust and water resistance, but the Google Pixel 3a, it doesn't have any IP certification at all, which is kind of annoying. I feel like we're in a day and age now. Like I said, I mean, this is a $400 phone. It's not like it's a $100 phone. How much could a certification be? I just feel like they should have just done it. There's no water certification on it, so I don't feel comfortable taking this phone around bodies of water or running with it in the rain or, whipping it out whenever, because I just don't know. I mean, sure, the people are going to do water tests and everything, but it's pretty much the same thing with like the 6S and the 6S Plus. No water certification there, but some people did say it has some water sealant, so. Both these phones also do not have any wireless charging, and that's pretty much covering the basics. Obviously, the 7 Plus has a 5.5-inch IPS panel, whereas the Google Pixel 3a has a 5.6-inch OLED panel. And in my opinion, they're both 1080p panels, but I think the Google Pixel 3a does have the better panel overall. And, it's an OLED panel. It's going to look much better. Blacks are fully pitch black. The 7 Plus's panel isn't horrible. I mean, it didn't have True Tone or anything, and I don't think it's a bad panel overall, but definitely between these two, the Google Pixel 3a wins by a landslide just because it is an OLED. And I feel like the screen on the Google Pixel 3a is one of the best characteristics of it, and it does have some quirks, it does have some weird things going on with it, but the screen is definitely one of those things that I'm so proud that they did. On the back, we have pretty much the same exact setup almost. So we have a single camera on the Pixel 3a and a dual camera setup on the 7 Plus. And like I said before, they're almost pretty much the same. They both lack wireless charging. The 7 Plus does feel more premium in the hand, but in terms of that, that's pretty much the hardware on the outside. Now moving on to the software side of things. Now this is where things get a little bit more interesting. If we just went one version above the 7 Plus, which would be the 8, 8 Plus, and iPhone 10, more specifically the iPhone 10, those sets of phone I think are going to outlast the Pixel 3a, but I think the iPhone 7 Plus is going to be at the same level as the Pixel 3a, so it's going to get the same amount of versions per their OS for the remainder of time for the same. So they're pretty much going to end the software life cycles at the same time. And the reason I say that is because the 7 Plus should be getting iOS 13 and iOS 14, and quite possibly could get iOS 15, but I don't really think so. Whereas the Pixel 3a got this version right now, is going to get another version of Android and then another version of Android on top of that. Now it could get another version on top of that too, it really just depends. But as I see it right now, I think they're almost going to end around the same time, but there could be a possibility if any of these have the chance of going further. I think the Pixel 3a would last a little bit longer than the 7 Plus. Another thing to keep in mind is that the Pixel 3a is going to be able to be custom ROMmed and rooted whenever those things come out for this device. So that is a humongous pro for picking up a Google Pixel 3a. The amount of development community behind the Pixel line, the Nexus line, even Android phones in general is insane, and I love that so much. That is a pretty big deal for the Google Pixel 3a in my opinion. Now moving on to the performance side of things. Now this is where things get a little bit interesting, actually not really. The performance is exactly as I thought. The 7 Plus is slower than the Google Pixel 3a, which is expected, I'll be honest. I was expecting it to be slower. I wasn't expecting it to be this slow. I mean, I think the 7 Plus, in my opinion, does hold its own. I think it's a very amazing iPhone. I have so much respect for it. I even called it one of the most amazing iPhones of 2019 still, or the best iPhone dealers or something, but the Google Pixel 3a, as you can see, does outperform the 7 Plus. But the interesting thing is that I did compare the Google Pixel 3a versus the iPhone 10 as well, and I found that the Google Pixel 3a was overall faster than the iPhone 10, which is pretty crazy. I wasn't expecting that. I kind of had the assumption that the iPhone 10 was going to beat the Pixel 3a, but I guess you can never make assumptions in the technology world because things, if you think one thing goes one way, it actually goes the other, bro. I mean, you guys know how it is. I think the 7 Plus in 2019 is still a very good performer on iOS 12, especially. Once it gets to iOS 13, there could be some problems, but the Google Pixel 3a overall, in my opinion, is a very, very good performing phone. The 7 Plus has the Apple A10 Fusion chip, a quad-core CPU, and 3 gigs of RAM, where the Google Pixel 3a has a Qualcomm Snapdragon 670 chipset, an octa-core CPU, and 4 gigs of RAM. And like I said before, man, the Google Pixel 3a is a very good performing phone for $400. You can't really beat that. The 7 Plus, still being sold in the Apple stores brand new, is a pretty good competitor in terms of performance, but I do think the 3a is a better performing phone overall. So that kind of covers up that aspect of it. Let's go ahead and move on to the camera side of things. Now, what's interesting is we're comparing a single sensor versus a dual camera setup on the 7 Plus. Now, on the 7 Plus, you have two 12 megapixel sensors. On the 3a, we have one 12.2 megapixel sensor. And I'll tell you like this, in terms of quality and overall features, I think the Pixel 3a does win. I think the only advantage that the 7 Plus has over the Pixel 3a is a telephoto lens. It allows you to zoom in way more into a photo. But in terms of everything else, I really would think that the Google Pixel 3a is the better camera overall. It has the same type of pixel technology behind the Pixel 3, which is awesome. You have the awesome software optimizations as well. And what I can tell you is, even though the Google Pixel 3a isn't like as good, I don't think, as the 3 XL and what I've heard, what I can tell you is the 3a is a very good camera, and I think it is overall better than the iPhone 7 Plus. So one interesting thing to note though, is that I still think the iPhone 7 Plus's camera is still very, very good. I really don't think there's anything wrong with it. If you need the basic features, you know how Apple is, they put all their settings in the settings app, which is so annoying. Google puts them right straight into the camera app, which is awesome. So that is a pretty big advantage if you're going for the Google Android route. But like I said before, the 7 Plus is a very good camera sensor. And if you're cool with just rocking that type of thing, then it's perfectly fine in my book. But for my personal usage, I think the Google Pixel 3a is a better camera device than the iPhone 7 Plus. On the front, we have a 7 megapixel camera on the iPhone 7 Plus and an 8 megapixel sensor on the Google Pixel 3a. Both can shoot 1080p videos, and it really just depends what you like. I think the 3a's camera is very good. Maybe the 3a's is better than the 7 Plus, but again, I'm too ugly to use a front camera, so I'm not a good tester in this case. And moving on to the battery life of things. Okay, now I'll tell you the battery size and we'll just go on from there. The iPhone 7 Plus has a 2900 mAh battery. The Google Pixel 3a has a 3000 mAh battery. Now this might surprise you, and I'll just tell you from my experience and just my honest opinion. I think if you're keeping the battery stock on both of these and they're both at 100% milliamp hours, no degradation, anything, I think the 7 Plus would probably outlast the Google Pixel 3a. But because the iPhone 7 Plus is older, the battery has degraded more. My 7 Plus specifically, the battery life has degraded quite a bit. I'll tell you like this, the Pixel 3a would probably win in that sense, but if we're comparing brand new devices, a brand new 3a to a brand new 7 Plus, in my opinion, I do think the iPhone 7 Plus does have better battery life overall than the Google Pixel 3a. So that's my opinion. You might have a different opinion. I might do a test here soon. I might get the battery replaced on my 7 Plus and go from there, but in terms of that, that's pretty much my own opinion. Now to kind of wrap things up, I mean, I do think overall the Google Pixel 3a is a very solid phone. Like I said, I don't have anything against it. I personally own it, so I am an owner of the Pixel 3a. I spent my own money on it. I didn't get it free from anyone. I actually kind of denied getting it for free. But what I can tell you is I think the Pixel 3a lacks in some features here and there, okay? No IP certification, no wireless charging. The 7 Plus doesn't have it either, but this phone came out in 2019. That phone came out in 2016. No expandable storage for an Android phone. That's pretty crazy. Only one storage variant, which is 64 gigs. I really don't understand that either. But the thing I have to remember is that this phone is a $400 phone. I personally do feel like Google could have done more for this in terms of the way it feels. But I'll tell you like this. In the marketplace right now, I think the 3a is important, and I think it's a very, very good phone overall. There's some things I can pick out here and there, but I think for $400, it's a pretty good phone. And I think in some ways, it is better than the iPhone 7 Plus. You're getting the better screen, you're getting almost a better camera, better performance, and I think overall, the Pixel 3a is overall better than the iPhone 7 Plus. But I still think the iPhone 7 Plus is a very solid phone. It's a very good choice. If you're looking at brand new prices, I think the Pixel 3a might be a better value per dollar. But if you're looking at used prices, I think the 7 Plus is a better value per dollar. I've seen them go on Amazon, I think for less than $400, so that's a pretty big discount in my opinion. And if that's the case, I would probably pick up a 7 Plus than over a 3a, but for brand new, that's that. If you want to pick up a certified refurbished 7 Plus, which are cheaper than brand new ones, I'll link that first thing down in the description so you guys can get it from there. But that is pretty much it. If you guys have any questions or anything, leave it down in the comment section below. Hit that like button, that'll mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it'll mean so much if you guys could hit that. Also, check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. All those links are linked down below. I would really appreciate if you guys could check it out. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.